Jim. He's dead.
Hello and welcome to Season 2 of Improv Autopsy. I'm Stephen Cadwell, your host for this part 2 of my interview with improviser, content creator, con moderator, former student, and friend Danny Loecken. We'll talk more about improv and he'll be subjected to my Proustian questionnaire, so let's get to it. Here is part 2 of Danny Loecken's Improv Autopsy.
My tutelage of teaching, it was 2021 to about 2023 with Dad's Garage in the for that run. But what a fucking run it was, because that's a year after the shutdown.
Yeah.
2 years into content creation, where people are just, our whole society is, we're relearning a lot of different things. Not relearning, we're being introduced to new things. And whether you sink or swim with that is something I kind of developed, which was in my time teaching. There were people that were, something I've coined was personality versus your persona. There's a difference. There's the actor and then the character. Well, that shift in the goalpost now, it's not, it's like, it's starting to go like, it's like actor and character. That's great over there. You know, that's a movie. But now we're in like TikToks, live streams, elements that people are using improv, whether they knew it or not. The lessons are not being transferred, or they're being learned again in this brand new scale of world, if you will. Because I take my improv lessons and I go and talk to streamers who don't consider themselves to be improvisers.
Yeah.
But I literally ask them a question, because one of the formats I do for my show is I take my audience, and we have about like 40 people at when we're lucky, and we take that and we go into another streamer's stream and we kind of secret shopper them. And I try to be a regular person that just shows up in their stream and going like, oh, how are you? I hope you're doing well. And in truth, what we do is my favorite thing out of it is, more often than not, when the reveal happens, is that they eventually find out that because we hope for good first impressions on our end, on their end. It's a real mixed bag. And we've had people legitimately just ban me right out, like gone. Because my name is AI Soothsayer on Twitch, because I'm a regular guy stuck aboard an AI-powered ship coursing through cyberspace. But the point being is that if everything goes right, they know that we're cool. They know that there's 40 people watching, and I know that they're cool. And we hit this like little rapport. I asked this very important question to, I guess, maybe the future, of wherever the fuck we're going, which is, if I can get to them and ask this question, and it's this: as a content creator, because that's a very distinctly different thing. As a content creator, do you consider yourself an artist or a creative? And it stops people just like the Donald Duck gauntlet. It just makes them real for a moment. They go, wow, I guess I've never really thought about it like that way. And I've had other people that just go, no. Like one guy he had like 250 people. He was playing Final Fantasy, but it was a legitimate answer. All of them are, because it's a real answer. It's, as you would say in improv, it's a real answer, a passionate one from a real place. He goes, no, it's a hobby. I just do it. It's something I can share with all these 250 people, but it's my retro game and I love sharing it with people. And I was like, fair enough. And but again, we would have back at SAC, we would have those. Remember I don't know if you were there for Punslingers, where the fastest pun in the West.
No, but I've heard of it. Yeah. I wasn't there for that.
Right. Well, guess what? It was an open call. Any improviser could sign up for this, but who always made it to the finals? Dad, a regular guy who just he's like, hey, I see a little competition coming up. Puns? Oh, boy. And he would smear every improviser, no matter all the years of training, all the confidence, all the goobity gobbity. And you got wiped by a dad who knew himself a little bit more than you could.
Yeah.
Guess what? Go back to class.
Hey, before I forget, where can people find you to watch your Twitch and whatnot?
Yeah, you can find me. It's called AI Soothsayer, spelled AISOOTHSAYER. And you can find that on all Instagram, social medias, and definitely Twitch and YouTube now. And yeah, it's the ongoing adventures of a regular guy stuck aboard an AI-powered ship, coursing through cyberspace, trying to get his way back home. And what is home at this point? That's where improv is for me now, for right now, because there's a lot of history with. I could tell you 110% of like the ins and outs of my time with certain improv theaters, but I tend to look to the future for certain things. And in my recovery, it was Twitch, because you can build your own thing. You get to build your own theater.
Yeah.
And that's something, a big lesson for a lot of folks, is that, yeah, you can, when you're, go to improv for whatever reason, like, and this is like a little lesson I can give, like, for all the years and all that stuff. Cause I've been inactive for maybe like 2 years now, like just not touching improv, just working on myself and my Twitch channel and stuff. But, I'll tell you 110% is, like, I have to work on myself a little bit more, and I'll get there. I gotta, but I'm getting there. But one thing I can tell to any student, like for anybody truly out there that's interested in improv, do it. Like, for realsies, go out and go see a show, or if you've been thinking about doing a class, please do it, because it's not just the stage time. It's the folks you meet along the way. And that's a big lesson I got to relearn.
Yeah. Well, and honestly, that, going back to what you asked about in terms of how teaching makes us better improvisers, I think one of the ways that it does that is, as a performer, we're exposed to, like at SAC, when I was there, it was 5 other people that we're exposed to on any given show. And that these are 5 different people that I'm interacting with. And as a student, you get to be introduced to a class full of people that you would not have met otherwise.
Right.
That believe differently, that think differently, that act differently, and you are learning how to create theater with them. And then as a teacher, you get exposed to class after class after class. So that's just an exponentially larger number of people that you're exposed to, that you learn how to communicate with and how to create art with. And it makes you better able to create art than with anyone.
Yeah.
Because you are more in tune with, I mean, it's basically just honing that skill of understanding someone and really hearing what they're saying to be able to respond in a meaningful way. And I think really that's probably the magic of being a teacher is, it's the rote, it's the reps of some of the stuff. It's saying the stuff over and over again until it's second nature to you. But also it's like, you know what, I can play with this person. I can play with this person. I can play with this person.
Yeah.
One of my favorite students was she was a little bit older than the student base. She wasn't old, but she was a little bit older than the average student.
Right.
And she had a little bit of money and was looking for something to do. And she took my class 2 times in a row. She would have taken it a 3rd time, but John didn't let her. But all she was wanting to be able to better interact with people. And she talked with me. And one of her things was that because she was a woman in business, especially, I think she was not going to let a man tell her what to do.
Oh, right.
Which is great. I mean, as where she was and what she was doing,
right.
That was, and I don't know whether that was learned from like parents or whether it was learned from working
right.
or whatever it was, but she was an important person in her job. And especially as a woman in that position, you have this armor. And so I was trying to devise things to sort of penetrate that armor. So one of the things we did, I was like, okay, in this next scene, I forget what her name was. I could picture in my head. I was like, okay, in this next scene, she would never play low status because she wasn't low status in real life. Why would she play,
Right.
So I kept trying to figure out ways. So I was like, okay, in this next scene, this is a car dealership. You're the janitor. And I forget who it was that it was in a scene with her. It was one of the guys. And I was like, okay, and you work at the dealership. By the end of the scene, her dad owned the dealership and she was telling the salesman what to do. And I was rolling laughing because she just, it was she started at low status, but as the scene went through, it's just like, nope, you thought I was low status, but guess what?
You
Nope.
thought it. You thought it. I climbed the corporate ladder. I'll climb any ladder.
But I loved it. It was so glorious. And it's like, yeah, so to be able to meet people like that and like you said, yeah, like you and I are equals, right?
Yeah.
And then I think the more that you teach, you the more you see those people as equals. And it's like, they may not have done this as much as me,
Yeah.
but I can jump in here and do this with them because we're,
Well, that's the secret ingredient to all of this is something I'll even tell to anyone out there if you're still listening. Kudos is go get drinks after class. Go see a show with your students after class. Something that was really, really big, Stephen, like back at was going to the Harp and Kelp.
Yep.
Afterwards, and in Atlanta, the next to the theater was it was literally I'm not gonna lie, moving to Atlanta, and it was literally like seeing everybody but like alternate multiverse, like Marvel multiverse kind of thing. Like my name's Kevin Stadwell. Nice to meet you. I wear fedoras this way. You're like, oh, okay. But everyone's talking the lingo. But again, the Harp and Kelp equivalent was the Manuel's Tavern. It was the watering hole. And again, every class, just as important was something I think you can even attest to as well, probably in your time, is seeing students make groups together.
Yeah. When
they and form fucking lifelong bonds and stuff. And again, it's because the royal you took a improv class. And just like you were saying too, Stephen, is like outside of forming a dynamic duo, like where else can you do half the stuff you can do in an improv class? Where? Like the bank, a grocery store, right? And so, yeah. And again, that's why I guess it is for whatever it's worth. It's such a deep impact because I think now, especially talking about the future a little bit too, is I think we're going to really start to enjoy and see what improv can bring in a technologically run AI kind of world ish. And see that again, it's like we behind screens are people, with their own thoughts and ideas, and we have to rediscover each other again. And I think improv is going to be a really because again, it's like where else? A bowling alley? No, it's. I think the future might be improv, just for a different reason, though.
Yeah. I will say we also had there were Chicago versions of people when we lived in Chicago. We would refer to them as, there wasn't a doppelganger for everybody, right. But it would be like, oh yeah, that's I'm not even going to remember who we had, but it's like, oh yeah, that's Chicago Danny Loecken. Yeah. It'd be like,
yeah, right.
So I was talking with Tim the other day. Who? Oh, Chicago Danny Loecken. Oh, right. Yeah.
And that's like 70% of the playbook. You're like, I get it. I know the vibe. I get it.
Yeah.
I got it.
So speaking of Chicago as well, so you had Joe Bill, obviously, for level 2. Do you remember who you had for any other classes, just out of curiosity?
Oh, man. It was Brett Lyons was one.
Okay.
And
I never had him.
Yeah. And, fuck. What's his name? He's like one letter shy from a celebrity that
Bill Arnett.
Bill Arnett. That's it. Yeah. Bill Arnett. Very, very, like I had him for a level and then as a workshop, like a few months before, which got me to go to Chicago. And
okay. Yeah.
And one thing I just want to say for Bill Arnett is just, it's a superpower, like for improv, is that the man has a pretty prominent stutter. But when he improvises, he doesn't, which is it makes my jaw drop every time. I'm like, oh my God, improv is magic. But other than that, I can't remember. I wish I could. I can kind of see something, but couldn't tell you.
Yeah, no, that's all right.
I talked to, oh man, I wish I could remember his name. He had a Greek last name.
Noah,
yes. Yeah. R.I.P. But yeah. I remember Noah, but Noah taught me, inadvertently taught me a lesson, which was, as a fan, that improv scene, but they may not. And again, so I just remember walking up to Noah, and this is the only impression I have, because I was it was I was like 20, and I was still in level 1 of the intense. So I went up to Noah and I was like, I'm a huge fan of you. And he goes, oh, you are. Oh, wow. And then that's enough for that social hot knife through butter for me, because I was like, and I said, do you remember that one? Oh my God, I love that one scene where he did like this airplane thing, and it was so funny. And he goes, I did that. Oh, well, sounds about right. Is it anything else? And I went, no. And I walked away. It turns out, with my 2 anecdotes, Stephen, not good at small talk. Not very good at small talk.
Noah was great. He's also very is sardonic the right word? I don't know, but
yeah.
You're not the only one that had social interactions like that with Noah. So
I learned later, and of course I'm glad for the interactions that I did have, because he was huge. He was a huge. He picked up the torch after Dell, and that's huge.
Yeah,
and yeah,
big shoes were left vacant when he passed. For sure, he was definitely an asset to that community.
110%.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you got to rub elbows with him when you were up there.
Very truly, right underneath the Del Close's skull. Second floor, baby.
Yeah,
man.
I have I have a Proust questionnaire, sort of a inside the actor studio thing that I like to do. So these are all improv related, or when I was thinking of them, but don't feel like you have to strictly apply them to improv. It can be in terms of your show on Twitch or whatever. But the first one is, Danny, how do you get into the proper headspace to play?
I like to talk and do bits with my friends. I do it consciously and unconsciously. If I can get somebody to laugh before the show, I'm in.
Yeah.
I feel good. I feel real good about that. And for Twitch, it's just a lot of just self-confidence and getting prepared kind of stuff. Talking to other folks is just getting them to laugh. I like to get people to laugh, and it makes me feel more at ease.
Awesome. Also, you're also connecting with people that way too, which is great.
Yeah, and if they don't laugh, I just stand up and walk away coldly every time. What a joke attempt, didn't land.
Danny, come back.
All right.
Danny, what is your favorite get for?
Ooh, my favorite get for is, I think one of them is it's more of a, well, actually, this is a combo wombo. I'm bringing it a third time. Power of threes. Stephen Cadwell is number 3. It's one thing I just for reals is I learned a lot about hosting. I love hosting. I love hosting improv shows specifically.
Yeah.
And I use one of yours, Stephen, which is let's practice a round of applause. Let's start with some low energy. Let's start with some real low energy, like this is lowest energy you can. Sounds like golf claps, or it sounds like a 5K at a nudist colony. Yes, I carry that fucking torch, Steven. Yes. Oh, and it hits every time. And even if they don't get it, it's like you don't get it. You just don't. But in lieu of an answer, my favorite get for is. I like asking personal questions. I usually like to get my second follow-up question if I can talk to them as my get for.
Yeah.
So it's just like, oh, what's your name? Richard. What do you do? I'm a physician. Great. Or what kind of what do you don't like about being a physician? Ugh, too much blood. Great. It gives it a little bit more. Makes me feel more personable to the audience.
Yeah. Yeah. So on the same sort of vein or on the same track, what is your least favorite suggestion?
Dildo.
Sure.
Yeah, right out the gate. But for realsies, no. I truly mean it. I don't care. I really don't care in the best of ways.
Yeah.
I don't roll my eyes at it. In fact, if you can become a curmudgeon on stage and earn it, and go like, well, that guy fucking get for, what are you, raising a bar or whatever? Like great, do it. There's a few people out there I can name that like have nailed that character.
Yeah.
And but anything outside or less than that is just, it looks like you don't like it, and so I will say for me it's no. I will take any, and I'm just glad that you took a breath. That means you're alive, you're in the audience, and you can say words. Hopefully you can laugh next.
Yeah. So Brian Koppel, he took comedy sports to Germany. And he still runs it's now Comedy Shorts, but he runs that over in Berlin. And he said that he loves the getting the suggestion because that's the audience's way of telling you what they want to laugh about, which was, I thought, a really interesting perspective on that.
Like a little look-Loo into their mind.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, okay. So because I'm with you, like, especially at SAC, if we get dildo, you either pretend like you don't hear it, or I talked to someone who said, because my next question is relates to this, but they said when they'd get it, they'd go, ew, what else? Or something like that. But yeah, it is interesting because it is an insight. And I think the more, like, if you delve a little bit deeper when you're talking to someone, like you ask the follow-ups, then you get a little bit more information into, okay, what does this person want to laugh about?
Yeah, that's a really interesting way to look at that. I like that.
Yeah, I thought so too. But so the follow-up then is, Danny, what's your favorite way to burn a suggestion that doesn't inspire you?
Oh man, easy go-to is I heard kitten. So we're gonna go with kitten for our suggestion. 3, 2, 1. But with a veritable, like, the secret is you stare at them for about 2 seconds. I heard kitten. We'll see it in 3, 2, 1.
Yeah. Well, as long as you're staring at them, what do you look for in an audience volunteer?
Measured enthusiasm. Very, measured enthusiasm. Because, like, truth, I love audience participant games, short form games, moving bodies, columns, silent columns. But yeah, all of them is much like an improv class. You can tell who's the, like, office jokester in just that little microcosm, where he's like, and you're like, okay, all right, this guy's moving my body for the next 3 minutes. He's like I had one guy, he goes, this reminded me, I had one guy, he literally leaned in my ear, he goes, don't worry, my buddies at the office think I'm hilarious. And I remember all I did was I went, go.
Yeah, as the panic sets in.
You didn't even buy me dinner. Jeez Louise.
So this is one I thought of when we were talking earlier, but Danny, can you describe your onstage persona? How is onstage Danny different than offstage Danny?
Not that different. Not that different. Something I really do kind of champion. I look at it. I do look at myself, and because I always hoped I would be different, like on stage or whatever. But I saw the footage. I know what I look like and how I hold myself. And truth, it's maybe even truth in comedy is I try to not really put on any airs, even when I'm on stage. It's just I get to have fun. That's the key to my persona, is that personality persona, Venn diagram. Not really a Venn diagram. Those circles are super close to each other, if you will. So I think I try to hold myself to that kind of standard, because but if I do give myself a label or a persona for reals, is on stage I'm what I consider to be like a meta fence sitter. I love making my words be double entendres, both for maybe even triple, because I like to talk to character, actor, and audience at the same time.
Sure.
And that's very hard to do, and because usually it turns into kind of like winking. But there's more technique to it, because if I can get 3 of those parties to laugh for 3 separate reasons in my head, that's a success.
What inspires you on stage?
The other person, kind of like what we're doing right now. I feel alive. It's weird, even though like kind of I guess is like this is not a performance, but it is. Ironically, that's why it kind of goes back to like William Shakespeare kind of stuff. Is life is a stage. We are playing our parts. It just improv seems to muddle that up a little bit in a good way, to bring us to theater, maybe bring theater to our stuff off stream.
Yeah.
And that's huge.
Is there anything that shuts you down or takes you out of it on stage?
Assholes.
Yeah.
Bullies.
Yeah.
People that think they know improv more than you do. And not because of time, but because of ego.
Yeah.
That you think you know more. That's what makes a difference between a good teacher and a bad teacher. You have experience. You have time. How do you convey it? And that's your gift. It's the only thing you have in that world is how do you convey your scene, yourself, your time to others. And you can fail in one of those. You can succeed in all of them. And I very specifically remember one of my very first scenes when I went at Dad's. I started as a student at level 1, but I went to the student mixers, even though I had 10 years of improv experience under my belt. Like I had played with y'all, had fringe festivals underneath, but it doesn't mean nothing when you're in a new city.
Right.
You have to do it all over again, if you will. And I remember there was this one scene, this guy, he had a reputation. Like I remember going up and they were like, "You got to watch out for this guy. He's gonna bulldoze your whole scene, man." And I was like, oh. I love that. Oh my God. I hate inferring if you're a bully, but if somebody tells me right out the gate and within the first 5 seconds, I already got that vibe, because when we started our scene, a little secret, Stephen, only one person ever noticed it at Dad's, was they noticed that I tend to sit down in scenes. Every scene I start, they noticed after a while I would always sit down, because it gives me a power imbalance that I can work up towards, because it just hits a natural proclivity to look down at me. And so what I did was I sat down, and the scene was, he goes, "You're in a lot of trouble, aren't you, mister?" "Yeah, here in the principal's office." And I was like, "Yep, yes, I am. I am in the principal's office." And he goes, "Yep, yeah, I can't believe it." And in that, and what I do truly, like Stephen, to a degree, is one thing I will give as what I'm doing as an improviser, outside of just natural vibes and going with the flow, is I'm ADHD, autistic, whole 9 yards and all that stuff. Rules are important, especially when you can build them inside of your scenes. All I need is rules for you to abide by, because you can hang yourself with them. And I sat there, and he's like, "You're in a lot of trouble, mister." And I went, "Yeah, I am. I did it." And I was smoking in the boys' room. And he goes, "Yeah, you were smoking in the boys' room. I can't believe it. You and you are about to get complete." And I said, you're the principal, right?" And he goes, "Yeah, I am." And he even threw this extra detail, which again, for anyone else out there, he goes, "Yeah, but it's what you did in the girls' restroom." And it looked at to the audience, and I was like, all right. And I went, "Yeah, that's also on the docket. That's up for interpretation." But I said, "You're the principal, right?" And he goes, "Yes, I am. Rule number 1. And I said, "You're also the principal. Whatever he says goes." "Yeah, it is." And he just, yes, he's not even ending me. He's just yesing me each one. "Yeah." And I was like, "All right, whatever the principal says goes." And I said, which is great, because I just got word I won the silent auction, and I'm principal for the day starting this morning. And I said, "Sit down." You're in a lot of trouble, mister. And threw it right back at him because it just turns into and again it's in the, we all know what a strong arm bulldozer feels like. You could, I bet we all have an anecdote, and to that, yeah, that's a huge turnoff. Is you can see that behavior both on and off stage.
Yeah. In your estimation, what makes a good scene partner?
A good scene partner is giving, like, and what I mean by that is if another person in that scene can give a compliment of what they gave to them in that scene to another person, like in that sense, when they go, oh, Steven, Steven, when he came in and was my lawyer and my brother, and when you get that, you can see that as a teacher too. When you kind of go like look over and see them talking amongst themselves in like at the Harpenkelt or in the classrooms, and a good improviser gives so much on and off stage that other people talk about it.
Yeah. Is there any advice that you would give to your younger self?
I would say forgive yourself. Forgive yourself on stage and off stage, because there's so many different factors that can take you out of the stage. Whether, it could be a faux pas, or you have the long-standing traumas of any degree. Whatever it is that keeps you from going is you got to forgive yourself and others, and it's you can do that. You can even do it in scenes, and that lesson hits on so many different layers. And I need to teach that lesson, and I need to live that lesson again.
Yeah.
So I think that's a big one.
Do you have a favorite type of character to play?
Yes. My favorite characters, easiest ones, is just like loud. I love loud characters, and especially ones that are wrong, loud, wrong characters. Yeah. They can run a whole show if everything is right.
If you could do a scene with anyone alive, who would it be?
Paul F. Tompkins.
Nice. Yes.
100%. 100%. Yeah, I dream of that. And I think, of course, another one would be, I know he's not like improv per se, but Conan O'Brien.
Yeah.
Just because Paul F. Tompkins for just because he's a living legend. Anybody, if that name meant nothing to you, dear viewer or listener, just look up Paul F. Tompkins and find any of his podcasts. Anything at this point.
Yeah, it's
good stuff. Mm-hmm.
Conan is shedding a tear because you didn't call him a living legend, but it's
I said what I said. I said what I said.
If you could do a scene with anyone who is no longer with us in the pantheon of people from the beginning of time who have passed on, who would you do a scene with?
Right out the gate, Del Close, just to get the vibe, a feel for that.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of lost. That's the beauty of improv is it's the living inside joke. We will hear it and we'll never hear it again after that. It'll be co-signed to you had to be there. And Del Close would be an easy one.
Yeah. If you could do a scene with anyone fictional, who would it be?
Conan O'Brien. No. Print it. That's it. That's my answer. I have to.
No, I agree. I've never seen the guy in real life.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Come on. The Oscars, those are like bedtime stories. Oh, geez.
Yeah. You expect me to believe some gangly redhead's out there somewhere? I don't think so.
A successful? No.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Love you, Conan.
All right. Danny, what's the most helpful from the booth?
Oh, easy. Charlie Downs. I was actually going to bring that up. Easy was he would in any gun scene would fire the gun.
Yeah,
that's one of the biggest things you could ever do, because that immediately solves the skydiving situation. It's just like, I'm holding my gun, I'm holding my bang. and my favorite part is when two people have to decide who got shot.
Yeah,
in like 2 seconds. They go, oh, it's me. It's me. Goodbye.
What would you say is least helpful from the booth?
Gunshots. No, no. It would just be like, it'd just be timed stuff, just whatever didn't work or whatever. It's one of those, being in from the tech booth is one of those, like, if it's one of the like most underappreciated jobs, truly. Because it's got that idea as like, if everything's going right, you barely notice them.
Yeah.
You kind of stuff. So yeah, anything that's like out of sorts is just for the green room.
Danny, other than laughter, what audience sound do you revel in?
Okay. In lieu of if there's like an opposite one, like one of the prompts is like, what's my opposite one? Because I'll answer both, because I have one that's I'm gonna answer this succincly. I respect when an audience goes, and what it is, that specific one is when you do something dangerous on stage and you fumble it a little bit. And the reason I respect this is because when the audience feels it, what it is they feel concerned for your safety as real people would be. And what I found out is you can never recover from it. You can never, like, it doesn't matter. You can land you can land it in the Hudson, but you'll never get it on the tarmac of your scene after that, because the audience is just like a concerned parent now. So any joke that you have after that, they go, yeah, good on you. Are you okay? Fine. So that one I respect, but one thing I think I truly aim for like back in my heyday, for like at least once a show, was awe.
Yeah.
An audience awe, where usually it happens with a hug it out scene or a profession of love. But if you can get your audience to do that, that's great.
Yeah. So is is that the opposite? Is that the one you mentioned first?
The one that the gasp is one that I consider to be like, I try to avoid, but I respect.
Yeah.
And then the one I gun for is definitely like an audience awe.
Is there a particular type of laughter? And I don't mean like the laugh itself, but like what's the most fulfilling?
I was going to say like a group tither, a group chortle, even, if you will. But ask it one more time.
The most fulfilling, because there's laughing at different things or for different reasons. Like what do you think is the most fulfilling as a performer in terms of laughter?
Unexpected.
Okay.
Unexpected. Absolutely unexpected ones, because that means something out of my control to a degree is happening, and I think that hits to every comedian. I think it'd be almost lying to yourself if you did a choice and someone in the audience erupts in laughter. You literally would go and just look at the audience, going, I've done that. And I go, what are you laughing at? Like almost like an honest question. And so,
yeah.
So, but those are, unexpected is good, because then you can, that's something new to discover.
Yeah.
Or lean into.
I think you answered this just now. And it was because my next question is there a sound from the audience that makes you uncomfortable? And would that be the yeah.
Yes. And also the word Conan O'Brien. No.
That's the last thing you want to think about when you're doing improv. Danny, what's the worst venue you've played?
The worst venue we've ever played. I'm in a group, Penguin Knife Fight, where we started in Central Florida, but we kind of partnered with a comic convention over the years, and they allowed us to travel across the country. But it all goes back to your hometown, because that's where we started, like at near UCF, and one of the times we had considered like venturing from our little coffee shop, we started considering other like venues, and one of them was a beer garden around the Mills area, like Mills next to like Bumby and all that stuff, for like Pom Poms, R.I.P. It was a beer garden, like a little bar with a like an outside pavilion, and we had the dates booked, and of course when you show up for it was bar prov, if you will.
Yeah.
Which is to anyone else, I know this is like super late in the game, but for reals, bar prov is truly where you cut your teeth. You do basically bar prov is doing improv in a venue where they aren't the audience doesn't have to be there for you.
Right. Yeah.
They're in a coffee shop, it's a bar, and then a show starts. So in this one, Stephen, we meet up with the guy, and he's like, okay, yeah, you're out there, and he goes, by the way, there's a hockey game going on. Is that no one did anyone tell you about that? We're like, no, and everyone else is out there at the pavilion watching the hockey game.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, 8 p.m. rolls around, and the guy comes out and just blops the TVs off. No ceremony.
Oh no.
And I'm like, what the hell, man? He goes, what? like none of this was in our favor. He's like, there's a comedy show happening.
Wow.
He was the worst MC, if you will. He's like, there's a comedy show happening. You'll love it. And so we had to gather underneath the blumped out TV and do our little penguin night. Like, all right, guys. You could hear, you just feel the daggers in our backs as we're getting about to do this. All right, let's start the show, everybody. 3, 2, 1. Penguin Night Fight, and I did the hosting for that one, and I legitimately, this will bring it all together. Is I went, all right, so we could take any suggestions from the audience, like what's your most favorite thing in the world? Watching hockey. and I went, I heard kittens. We're gonna take kittens as a suggestion for the next like 2 hours.
Yeah. Oh wow.
That's a fun one.
I thought you were going to have to compete with the TVs, but I think turning them off is probably worse.
It was the worst thing. For the few people that stuck around, that was like the heel diggers, just going like, "Oh no, I want to hate watch this."
I think you've already answered this next one, even, but maybe it's something different. But it could be what Joe Bill said. But what's the best note or the best words of wisdom you've received?
Yeah, 100% that. It is, I'll put it all together, is turn your mind off and live in the moment. Take it for what it is, because the past led you to there, and it's going to be a blueprint for where you go in the future, hopefully.
Yeah. On the opposite side of that coin, what's the least helpful note you've received, or just the least helpful note you can conceive of? I think the worst one, this is about as for realsy as I can get, is when something does go wrong to you at a theater, you don't want to hear it happens all the time, or you don't want to hear the like, oh, don't worry about it, or you'll bounce back. When it does like go wrong or outside of a theater, sometimes you just want to hear, man, it sucks, like let's do something or do some improv. But yeah, worst piece of advice is like, I know what you're going through, is truly that. Yeah. No, you don't.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
Like that's my favorite 3-panel comic is a hand sinking into quicksand. The second panel is someone off screen high-fiving them, and then the hand is still sinking in the quicksand. Thanks.
If there were an Academy Awards for everything improv, what would you be nominated for?
Best yes-ander. Yeah, truly. Because I think that's part of the secret sauce is that I do enjoy everyone's ideas, because as long as I know it's coming from from fun or from passion or from your best foot forward, if you will, I'm going to be there for you 110% on for your idea, because that's it. Is I will tell you your idea is not stupid. It's a little weird, but I'm gonna run with it, and you need that honesty.
Yeah. All right, last one. If you're remembered 100 years from now for something improv related or improv adjacent, what would you want it to be?
Donald Duck Gauntlet. 110%. Wow.
Yep, done. Yes.
Done.
That's it for my interview with Danny. If you can't find him IRL, you can find him on Twitch, YouTube, and Instagram by looking up AI Soothsayer or clicking the link in the notes. I suspect he could gain tens of new listeners by being on this podcast. If you know of anyone I should interview or would like to be interviewed yourself, send me a message. Check out my Patreon for bonus content, including Phone Prov with Charles Fryerman. And thanks for listening to Improv Autopsy.